はい、どうも皆さん、こんにちは。大学交際付末っ子の交際水流です。僕は今、自分の目指している夢に少しでも近づくために、この大家族交際付の YouTube チャンネルを借りて、自分で企画、撮影、編集した動画を作ることになりました。僕自身まだまだ未熟でタイムマネジメントがあまり得意な方ではないので、僕の大学の課題にあまり支障が出ない範囲でできるだけ頑張って動画をアップロードしていけたらなと思ってます。そして初めての試みとなる今回の動画では、オーストラリアの歴史において本当に重要なアンザックデーについて僕の日本人の友達たちと喋っていこうと思います。そして動画の終盤ではオーストラリア人の友達にもインタビューをして皆さんにより深くアンザックデーのことを知っていただけたらなと思います。それでは Let's get on to it!よし、とりあえず行きましょうか。でもちょっと待って、俺もちょっと緊張すんな。まずオーストラリアがちゃんとした国になったのはいつ頃だと思う？ちゃんとした国ってイギリスから独立して、いつだろう？
戦争の前。
第一次世界大戦が1914年。間違ってたらごめんなさい。オーストラリアが国として独立したのは1901年頃だと言われています。そうなんですよね。1915年頃第一次世界大戦の時にオーストラリアとニュージーランドが連合軍になってイギリス側について戦争に参加したい。それがアンザック。そうこれがアンザックの略です。で当時連合国の大きな紛争に軍事力で参加することは周辺の諸国から国家として認められる大きな要素だった。だからだからオーストラリアは当時周りの国に認められるためにうおーって盛り上がっとった。それで最初にオーストラリアとニュージーランドの軍が送り込まれたのがトルコのガリポリっていうところで、夜が明ける前からトルコの海岸に攻めてオーストラリア軍とニュージーランドのアンザックの連合軍が攻めていってどうなったの？
勝ったっしょ。
負けた。大敗したい。初めてのデビュー戦でトルコに攻めて大勢の若者が命を落としてるんです。ここでそれが4月25日の早朝だったよ。でそれを追悼するためにその時から今までずっと続いてるのがアンザックデー。
じゃあ結構歴史あるんだよ。それ
歴史がある。でその4月25日の時期は季節的にポピーの花が満開だったり、だから今でも追悼する時には赤色のポピーを添えるのが習慣になっているオーストラリアで。まあでも現在では時が経つにつれジェネレーションが変わっていっとるけ、第一次世界大戦の人たちだけじゃなくて第二次世界大戦で命を落としたその戦士たちがその家族のための追悼も同じ4月25日に行われてる。
意外と俺らがさ知らないだけかもしれないけどさ、日本って確かに終戦8月15だっけ、あるけどさ、なんかそんなに今別にそんなトリビュートみたいなないよ。あんまなくない？
いやでもまあ8月6日にはある。夏休みなんだけどみんな学校に出向いてお祈り捧げるっていうのが今の広島でもある。
そうなの？
あるある。で4月25日の夜明け前に各地域ごとに集まる場所があって黙祷するために、それはもういろんな、SNS とか学校とか普通に E メールとかのアナウンスされてこの地域ごとにここでやりますよっていうのが出たの。その住んでる地域によって行く場所が変わるんだけど、夜明け前にみんなで黙祷して日の出の時にパレードが行われて、そのパレードを行うのはその戦争に行って帰ってきた選手とかその家族とかがパレードを行う。オーストラリアって、第一次世界大戦では日本とはそんな関わりはなかったんだけど、第二次世界大戦で日本に侵略されたい。その当時は日本はいろんな国に攻めとったけ、でもあんまりその知られてないと思うんだけど、オーストラリアからしたら第二次世界大戦で一番そのでかかった戦いが日本との戦争なんだけど、 ビスケットはなんで売られているのかっていうと、その時に戦争に出向いた兵士たちの、奥さんというかその家族がそのビスケットを作って兵士たちに持たしとったんよ。でなんでかっていうと、移動中戦争に出向いとるその間の時でもあんまり腐ることなく長持ちするし、非常食的な感じ。
だんだんうまい。
そうで兵士たちがそれ持っとったらしい。その名残で今でもビスケットが売られて、これを兵士で食べたんだよって言ってみんなで食べるっていう。
あと食べる？めっちゃうまい。
マジですか？で今からこの海辺の近くでアンザックデーの追悼とかをやってるらしいので、その風景をちょっと撮りに行きたいと思います。はい、ということで今僕の友達のライアンさんにお越しいただきました。
おはよう。
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
これからね、アンザックデーのことを英語でいろいろ質問していきたいと思います。それでは準備いいですか、ライアンさん。Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's get on to it. First question.
Yes,
Do you have a family who has connection to the military?
I do actually. So I've got an older brother who served in the Royal Australian Air Force Cadets for 4.5 years, almost 5 years actually. Did the whole like basic training thing. He went through the promotions to officer ranks. I think he made it to a sergeant rank in the cadets. My younger sister just recently started high school. She's just started the Army cadets so that she can go through with the Army and get her uni degree.
She's 14.
Yes, she turned 14 this year, which is mind-blowing.
Mum.
Yeah, no, I've got a couple of family members and I grew up in a military town. The primary school I went to had very heavy military connections in the sense that it was a lot of the children of people who were on active deployment. We had a lot of support networks and support workers and stuff at the school for kids who were struggling when they had family who was away.
So you have really
Deep roots to it.
deep connections to the military.
Yeah.
How does your family honor Anzac Day?
When I lived with my mum, we wouldn't do the dawn service. We would go to an RSL, which is like a pub that is funded by the military. RSL stands for Returned and Services League of Australia. So if you go to an RSL, they do a minute of silence every night.
Every night?
Yeah, every night at 6 p.m. I think. They dim all the lights down, they turn off all the music, and everyone goes quiet. And so we'd go to the RSL for dinner. We go there, we do the moment of silence, we pay our respects. Because the other thing is that both of my parents are from New Zealand. I was the first one that was born here, so the thing is my connection to the culture is a little bit disjointed. It's not as rich as it could be, I guess. But the thing is, when I moved up here to live with my dad and his partner, we did the dawn service once or twice. He'd get me up at 4 a.m. and we'd be down at the beach, standing there in the cold. And I think it's a really moving service. I think that the dawn service is a very, it's an important thing. I don't think it should ever change.
Yeah.
Yeah. In your spare time, if you can ever check it out, and if you guys can ever check it out, in Sydney there's a place called the Royal Maritime Museum, and the whole thing that they do there is it's all these decommissioned warships, decommissioned submarines. Yes,
they even have a Japanese military.
Yes.
Warships.
And you can actually get in them and you can walk around and you can look at them.
You can get in them?
Yes, you can get in them. So if you go to the Maritime Museum in New South Wales, in Sydney, you pay for entry. They've got a lighthouse you can go in, a life-saving vessel, a submarine that you can walk on. I think they've got an aircraft carrier and then 2 battleships. And it's really cool. Learning about the history is really cool.
I think I went there for my school excursion when I was grade 6.
Yeah.
And they still have the goods from the old days, right?
Yes.
I smelled some of the socks.
Yes. They have those exhibits where it's people's clothes, people's letters, notes from captains, notes to loved ones. It's
water bottles and...
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I'd recommend checking it out.
Are there any personal stories or experiences related to Anzac Day that you find particularly moving?
I went to school with this kid named Callum. Both of Callum's parents were active service people in the military, and his dad would play the bugle for the community service, but he was actually away on deployment at the
really?
time.
Oh, okay.
That year that his family were away, he actually got invited to
Yeah.
play the bugle for the community service. So they put him in service wear. He wore his dad's uniform, he wore the hat, he wore the dress uniform, he was ironed, he looked great, and he played the song perfectly. He'd been practicing the song for like a month. Like, it was really moving to see him play the song, because the thing is, then you could see while he was walking away, he'd been crying the whole song. Because normally he's there watching his dad do it, and he had to do it without his dad. And like, thankfully, his family had come home from their term of service, all good, no scratch. So that was good. But yeah, I think that was the most like impactful moment that I had seen.
Oh, nice. That's a good story. So how do you think like the younger generations nowadays engage with like the Anzac Day? How do they get taught?
In school, you learn about it, but unless you've got a military background in your life, or unless you've got a friend or a friend of a friend who has a connection with the military, you are very disjointed from it. And to be honest with you, I would go,
if you're Australian.
yeah, if you're Australian, I would go so far as to say that like a lot of the people from our generation, at least, it's not even that you celebrate Anzac Day, you participate, because it's not a celebration, it's a memorial. I think to them, it's just another public holiday, which is a bit of a really like sad thing to think about, because it's not just celebrating one day. The Anzac Day is a memorial to the entirety of the Anzac Corps that lost their lives during battle, were injured, were misplaced, went missing in action, everyone that was affected, all of the collateral damage. Because the other thing is too, the bit that like at least makes me really like worked up about it is the thing that like most of our fighting that took place with the Anzacs was in Turkey. And the storming of Gallipoli is one of the most somber things that you learn about through high school, at least when it comes to Australian culture, because it was a horrific thing. You know, thousands of people lost their lives and thousands of people got hurt, thousands of kilometers away from the nearest loved one. And again, with World War II, you've also got to remember a lot of the drafting and a lot of the conscripting, people were lying about their ages. So you had to be 18 to join the military, but some of these boys were only 16, 17. It was ranging between the ages of 16 to as old as 25. You know, that's our age. Putting myself in their shoes and thinking about, like, if it was something that I was having to go through, it would be a very different thing. And I don't think that anyone, our age at least, or anyone in our footing, would be able to go through that and come out of it okay. It's a shame to see that people don't have as much respect for it as they should. I get to live in a life that I want to have, and I get to have a very comfortable way of living because of the people that fought for the country.
Yeah, you gotta have some respect towards.
You have got to have some respect. I feel like people should be educated about it.
And I want to finish it off with rest we forget.
Lest we forget. Happy Anzac Day, and lest we forget.
Do you have a family, or do I
have a family?
Are there any particular stories or experiences you have?
Yes.
Really?
Hello.
Justin.
Yo. Not much. We're filming a thing for YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Making a movie, bro.
Making a movie.
It's not a porno, is it?
No.
Oh, right,
Yeah, it's actually the intro.
Yeah. We've actually got someone delivering pizza.
Oh,
on the way.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
We're all good. Thank you, Justin.